So we're going to talk a little bit about our agency, Same Love Surrogacy. Just like you guys were, me and Jay and Danny were in your situation about 4 or 5 years ago looking to build our families. We did our families through IVF as well. Me and my husband have twin boys. We were pregnant on the first transfer. And Jay and Danny, who have been married for 22 years, have twin boys as well that are 3 years old. And that's kind of why we created the agency, to give back to our community, to give amazing service at a great price point. We both had agencies that we used through our journey, and the service we got from them wasn't what we expected as a gay man. So that's why we created Same Love Surrogacy.
All right, so why Same Love Surrogacy? What sets us apart from other agencies? One, we're a full-service, LA-based egg donor and surrogacy agency. We have everything. We have California egg donors, California surrogates, and we mostly try to keep our surrogates and donors in California because it's easier for travel, logistics, cost, keeping all of that stuff in check. As Brad was mentioning, we are gay-owned and operated. We've been through the process ourselves. We know it. We know the steps. We've lived it. So that gives us a slightly different perspective than some other agencies because, we're living proof of what we are providing. And so, as also Brad mentioned, having gone through that process and having experiences that were not so good, a little bit negative, we decided that we could do so much better of a job at this, having lived it ourselves. We're very excited because for the Men Having Babies survey on their website, we are ranked #1 best agency in the West Coast, #2 in all of North America. And the scale, it's 9.9, we're 9.8, so we're almost there. We're trying. So we're very proud of that. So it says something, though, because that survey is people who have been through the Men Having Babies organization, signed up with our agency, gone through the entire process from the very beginning until the end, and they've ranked us as to how good of a job we did based on timelines, customer service, cost, price, all of that. And also, as before, our egg donors, like I mentioned, and our surrogates are mostly all in California. Okay, so we provide, the customer service is a little bit different with our agency. You are dealing with one of the owners. So we manage, either Brad, myself, or Danny, we manage every case. So it's not like you're just passed off to a coordinator or this employee or that employee. If there's a problem at 5 o'clock on a Friday night and you're really stressed, you get a phone call from your surrogate and she's just like going crazy and out of control. Not that that would happen, but you never know. You always have access to us. You have our direct cell phones, WeChat, Skype, everything. You have complete communication with us. If there is any kind of problem or issue, we want to resolve it right then and there. We're available 24/7 because this process is not a process that takes the weekends off. I mean, it's happening. When your surrogate's pregnant, she's pregnant, there's a baby coming. So things have to be done all the time. You have to be on top of things all the time. So we're very aware of that, and that's what we pride ourselves in, making sure that your case is moving forward. If there's any roadblocks, we're there to keep the train on the right path. So that's very, very important to us. We work around your busy schedules. When we set up consultations, we've even gone to people's homes. We bring the agency to you. This is an emotional journey. It's not like you're going to buy a car. I mean, this is much different than that. So it's emotional, it's stressful, it's financially very expensive. There's a lot that goes into it. So because of that, we really want to be on your side, be compassionate and understanding. We've been in your shoes. We know what it's like to be hemorrhaging money and think, oh, it's just very nerve-wracking. Also, we are fully participating in the Men Having Babies GPAP program this year as of 2018, both stage 1 and stage 2. So we are affiliates with that, and we are participating with that as well. Now, very, very important, and whether you decide, whatever agency you decide to end up working with, this is something that's very important that you really want to ask, even if it's not us. It's an important key issue. We are a transparent and performance-based agency where our fees are performance-based. What do I mean by that? Well, many agencies, if you sign up with them, they say, okay, sign on the dotted line and write me a check for $20,000, $30,000, whatever the agency fee happens to be. We don't do that. So as a consumer, that makes me very nervous, just giving all that money away, putting all this faith in somebody who, are they going to get me a surrogate? Is she going to be medically cleared? What if she doesn't pass psychological and I'm 2, 3 surrogates down the road and I still have nothing and I paid all this money? For us, you sign on the dotted line. Our agency agreement, you pay a $1,000 deposit, and that's it. You don't pay anything past that until we perform for you. So the next step in that process is we're going to match you to a surrogate and or egg donor, depending on what your needs are. And we are going to not only have you matched to a match meeting, preferably in person if possible, otherwise via Skype, we can do those as well. But we're going to send that surrogate to make sure that she's medically and psychologically cleared. And so she's ready to go to the next step to legal. So at that point, at a medical clearance, we will then bill for half of the rest of the agency fee at that point, because it's performance-based. We have to perform for you and get you what you're paying for. Then the last step is after you are under full legal contract with your surrogate and or egg donor, that's when we collect the final agency fee. So it's performance-based. We have to perform for you in order to get paid. So as a consumer and as an IP myself, that model just made me feel a lot safer and more comfortable. So that's why we do it that way.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is just the approach, how we approach things as an agency. The first thing is once you retain us as an agency, you're going to get full access to our online database. You're going to log in and a password. This is where you're going to be able to see our egg donor profiles and our surrogate profiles. You see the exact same profile that they complete. So our egg donor profile is about 10 pages, our surrogate profile is about 15 pages. You see all her answers, you see her medical records, you see photos. So you have direct access to our database. For our egg donors, if you don't find an egg donor, and a lot of the doctors talk about that, that's the most intimate part of picking an egg donor. We've partnered with some other egg donors that only handle egg donors down in Southern California. So we have a bigger network of egg donors for you. Once you've matched with one of them, we're big believers in doing in-person matching meetings. So if you're down in Los Angeles, actually meeting your egg donor in person, meeting your surrogate in person. It can be done via Skype as well, but we're big believers in an in-person meeting. This is someone you're partnering up with for 9 months. This is someone you're going to be intimate and get to know their family. So we're big believers in meeting in person. Once you sign up with us as well, you have access to all of our service providers. So we're going to build a team for you. We're going to work with and provide you a list of lawyers we think would be good for your case, insurance brokers, the clinics. So we're going to tell you what we think will work best for your case and what you are looking for. That's a little different from some of the other agencies. Some of the other agencies work only with 1 or 2 clinics. We work with all the IVF doctors that are here, all the lawyers. So it's all about choice based on service and price. What you guys are looking for, we build that team and we manage that team for you. And then also, once you're actually matched, you continually, like Jay was saying, are with one of the owners, and we're continually guiding you throughout the whole process. So we just don't get you pregnant and then we fall off the face of the map. We are with you from the beginning all the way to the end until you're actually at the hospital taking your babies home. A big thing about our fees is we don't have a rematching fee. So if we send your egg donor in and the clinic says, you know what, she doesn't have enough follicles, she doesn't look like she'd be a great egg donor for you guys, we don't charge a fee to rematch you. Same thing with the surrogate. When it comes to the compensation for our surrogates, we think our compensation is fairly priced. We're not the highest, we're not the lowest. Our surrogates and our egg donors are compensated what we feel is a fair compensation. And then also all of our surrogates actually sign off on their compensation, so there's no big negotiation when it comes to the contracts as well.
You know what they're being paid, and they know what they're getting paid all up front. So there's no surprises.
A big thing for us is a lot of our egg donors are very high quality. We screen most of the egg donors, but we take about 5% of them. So a lot of the egg donors don't qualify. So you're seeing the best of the best when it comes to our egg donors and surrogates. We also have monitoring support groups for our surrogates. Here's a few photos of just the support groups that we put together to support your surrogate when she's pregnant, so she has full support during the journey.
All right. So talking about the cost a little bit, on average, it's approximately, going with our agency, it ranges depending on choices that you make and providers that you end up ultimately picking, but it's about $110,000 to $140,000 all in. So that's for everything. And our average time frame to becoming parents is right around 17 months, give or take. So that's about kind of the standard, but we want to keep everything moving forward. So that's where we tend to end up. Our surrogates average taking on the first time, it's about an 85% success rate on the first transfer, which is pretty good. These photos here are some of our intended parents. This is Christian Sean, who actually spoke yesterday on one of the panels, which is kind of exciting. This is one of our intended parents from China. His baby was born last week. We had another baby born yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we've been averaging one a week, which is exciting and kind of good as well. 40% of our cases have resulted in twins. Not everybody wants twins, but and I know there's risks to twins, and the doctors will tell you that, which is, you have to decide what's right for you. Are you willing to take those risks, a little bit higher pregnancy risks and those type things? But we have had very good success with twins. In addition to that, about our surrogates have been at twins, they're averaging about 37 weeks, which is considered full term for twins. And then for a singleton, our average has been about 39 weeks where babies are being born. So we've had some very good full terms and healthy babies, and so it's very positive.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a question. Yeah.
How long is your wait time currently for a surrogate?
Great question. It's about 3 to 6 months right now. We advise the best thing for you to do is, if you're interested in going with us, just go to our website, fill out the application online. There's no commitment. It takes about 45 minutes to complete, and that kind of gets you into the queue. Then we can set up a consult and answer any more questions that anyone has.
I noticed you didn't mention any attorneys. Do we have in-house attorneys? Or do you
So we do not. So we partnered with certain attorneys that we feel give good service as a good price point. A lot of our service providers, because 90% of our clients are gay clients, give us reduced pricing. So that's a way we can save people. We are big believers that the lawyer should be independent, of in-house. So we're very big believers in independent and checks and balances.
So the kind of the 3 to 6 month time frame that you mentioned, is that driven by capacity constraints on your guys' side in terms of, like, I imagine there could be more demand than there is for the 3 of you to be personally involved in every.
Yeah, it hasn't been on the attendant parent side. It's been more on finding surrogates. Just for all the agencies that you'll meet with or talk with, there's just not enough supply of surrogates in the marketplace right now. So a lot of the doctors talked about here is creating your embryos, and that's kind of an approach we like, is start the embryo process, and then we kind of follow behind with the surrogate. If you're using one of our egg donors, we can manage both parts of the egg donor and the surrogate.
So with that 3 to 6 month wait, we can be during that time creating the embryos. So all of a sudden now, once you have your embryos, say at 3 months, the 4th month, oh, we've got a surrogate for you. Yeah. So it's not necessarily like you're just sitting around with nothing happening during that wait period.
So we have about 3 or 4 different psychologists in Southern California that do the evaluations. They all do in-person or Skype. So we don't do phone evaluations. It's either in-person or via Skype.